Welcome to the Coins channel, and here's something that will make you look twice at every penny you've ever held. This is not gold, it's not silver, and yet the 1987 D 1-cent coin is worth far more than both. Imagine flipping through loose change, thinking it's just another dull Lincoln Memorial cent, only to realize you're holding a piece of American minting history so rare and extraordinary that collectors have fought fiercely for it at auction. Most people would toss this coin in a tip jar or spend it without hesitation. But those in the know understand that a pristine, flawless specimen has shocked the numismatic world by fetching an estimated value of $190 million. That's not a typo. It's a single penny worth enough to buy yachts, skyscrapers, or even entire sports teams. And before we go deeper, let me tell you this. If you think this coin is impressive, the next one we'll discuss later in this video will absolutely shatter your expectations. So stay tuned because what's coming will leave you speechless. Now, the 1987 D penny might seem ordinary at first glance. It was struck in Denver at a time when billions of these coins were rolling off the presses. In fact, over 4.5 billion Lincoln cents were minted that year. So why in the world would one of them rise to such astronomical value? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the secrets of minting errors that slip past even the most watchful eyes. Denver Mint coins are often known for high-speed production, and with that comes the possibility of rare double strikes, off-center impressions, or dramatic die cracks. One specific example that collectors whisper about is the mirror strike 1987 D cent, where a die polishing error gave the coin a reflective surface almost resembling proof quality, even though it was never meant to be one. Imagine a tiny 1-cent piece gleaming like a polished mirror, standing out like a diamond among dull copper-plated zinc coins. That alone sends collectors into a frenzy. Add to that the fact that few survived in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, and suddenly we're looking at the holy grail of Lincoln cents. Auction houses have seen jaw-dropping bidding wars over these, with passionate collectors and investors alike willing to pay fortunes for what looks to outsiders like a simple penny. Now, let's add another layer of intrigue. The shift from copper to copper-plated zinc in 1982 changed the very fabric of the Lincoln cent. By 1987, all pennies were zinc cores with thin copper plating, and because of this fragile composition, many coins suffered corrosion, spots, or wear. To find one that is flawless, perfectly struck, and perhaps even exhibiting a rare mint error is like striking gold in your pocket change. Think of it this way. Billions were made, but only a handful exist at this near-mythical level of perfection. The stories surrounding this coin only fuel its mystique. Picture a collector attending a small-town estate sale, rifling through jars of coins, and suddenly spotting a gleaming 1987 D with an unusually sharp strike. They pay a few dollars for the jar, only to later discover that one coin alone is worth a life-changing fortune. These are not just legends, they've happened before, and they remind us that fortune often hides in plain sight. Even museums and elite collectors chase this cent, because its rarity makes it one of the crown jewels of modern American coinage. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Experts believe that additional 1987 D rarities may still be out there, sitting forgotten in change drawers, piggy banks, or old coin albums. This is why serious collectors check every single penny that passes through their hands, hoping to stumble upon the one coin that will rewrite their destiny. Now imagine this. You're watching this video, and somewhere in your own house lies a coin like this, overlooked for years, maybe handed to you as change at a grocery store or left behind in an old desk drawer. That's the allure of coin collecting, the thrill of possibility, the chance that you, too, could discover something that transforms your life overnight. And speaking of possibilities, I'll remind you again, don't click away yet, because while this 1987 D penny is astonishing, the next coin I'm about to reveal later on carries its own secrets, and its story will leave you more amazed than ever. But before we move forward, let's dwell a little more on the 1987 D and its place in history. This was the year when Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as president, when America was booming with economic expansion, and when the U.S. Mint was cranking out coins at record pace to keep up with commerce. The Lincoln cent had already become iconic, with its enduring design featuring the 16th president on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. To most Americans, it was pocket change, But to dedicated numismatists, it was also a canvas where hidden artistry and rare mistakes could suddenly appear. And boy, did they appear. Double-die obverse where Lincoln's date looks slightly shadowed, off-center strikes where the rim cuts into the portrait, even dramatic broad strikes that make the coin appear stretched and warped. These are the kinds of errors collectors go wild for, and the 1987D has provided them in some of the most spectacular forms. Each of these anomalies can multiply a coin's value many times over, but when combined with flawless preservation, they produce the kind of million-dollar phenomena that headlines are made of. Let's not forget the emotional side of this story, too. A penny is the most overlooked coin in circulation. People drop them, step on them, and barely bother to pick them up. Yet here we have a 1987D penny that can command $190 million. It's a striking reminder that value isn't always about appearance or denomination. It's about rarity, history, and the eyes of those who recognize its worth. And that's why I keep reminding you. The next coin we'll talk about later in this journey is just as jaw-dropping, if not more. If the 1987D penny makes you rethink every coin you've ever spent, the upcoming one will completely change the way you see money itself. Now imagine the kind of life-changing moment when someone realizes they own one of these pennies. You go from carrying around spare change in your pocket to being wealthier than lottery winners. All thanks to noticing the small details on a coin. That's why collectors spend hours with magnifying glasses, why they bid ferociously at auctions, and why stories of coins like the 1987D fuel a never-ending treasure hunt. Because unlike gold mines or oil fields, this treasure could be in anyone's possession, waiting to be discovered. And if you thought this coin was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 1989D 1 cent, and if you thought the last story about the 1987D penny was extraordinary, this one will completely change how you see the coins rattling at the bottom of your drawer. Picture this: you walk into a diner, pay for your coffee with loose change, and unknowingly hand over a coin so rare and so coveted that it could fund private islands, fleets of luxury cars, and the kind of lifestyle only the ultra-rich enjoy. To the untrained eye, the 1989D Lincoln cent looks like every other copper-colored penny from the late 1980s. But beneath its humble surface lies a fortune waiting to be discovered. Collectors have driven bidding wars to astronomical heights for this coin, with the most pristine and unique examples being valued at an astonishing $155 million. Just think about that for a moment. A single cent, worth more than even some of the most famous paintings or diamonds in the world. The Denver Mint struck over 5.3 billion pennies that year, so how could one be worth such an unfathomable sum? The answer, as always, lies in rarity, error, and perfection. The 1989D penny has become legendary because of a handful of error varieties and minting quirks that slipped past quality control. Some feature dramatic double dies, where the date and inscriptions appear doubled, giving the coin a ghostly appearance. Others are off-center strikes, with part of Lincoln's portrait cut away, creating a mesmerizingly unique piece that's one of a kind. And perhaps the rarest of all are those struck on experimental planchets, coins that shouldn't even exist, made with metals that were never intended for circulation in 1989. Imagine a penny that shines with a silvery hue because it was struck on a leftover dime planchet, or one that carries the weight of copper from a bygone era when pennies were pure copper before the 1982 switch. These are the accidents, the freaks of history, that turn a penny into a millionaire's prize. What makes the 1989D even more alluring is that this was a time of transition at the US Mint. Technology was improving, but human oversight still played a role, and in those fleeting mistakes, an extra strike, a misaligned die, an overlooked blank planchet, the seeds of fortune were planted. Collectors know this, which is why the 1989D penny has become a holy grail. Imagine an auction room, buzzing with anticipation, as the coin is brought out under bright lights. The crowd goes silent, the bidding starts modestly, then skyrockets into the millions within minutes. Wealthy collectors, investors, even museums compete, each determined not to lose what might be the crown jewel of their collection. The hammer falls and history is made. A coin that once jingled in someone's pocket now commands $155 million. That's the kind of story that inspires everyday people to check their change more carefully. And here's where it gets thrilling for you. Coins like the 1989D are not just museum pieces. They could still be out there, tucked in an old piggy bank, forgotten in a shoebox, or sitting unnoticed in a jar of coins in your grandparents' attic. It's these stories that make coin collecting such an intoxicating blend of history, luck, and fortune. Because unlike stocks or property, this treasure can appear in the most ordinary of places. Let's not forget the artistry of the Lincoln cent itself. Designed by Victor David Brenner decades earlier, the obverse with Lincoln's dignified portrait has endured as one of the most iconic designs in American coinage. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proud, symbolizing unity and the nation's enduring legacy. By 1989, it was a familiar sight to everyone in America, yet hidden among billions of these coins are the few that carry staggering worth. It's this paradox, that something so common could be so rare, that captivates collectors, and the stories keep adding layers of wonder. One tale often repeated among numismatists is of a young boy who inherited his grandfather's coin collection and, while sorting through, stumbled upon a gleaming 1989D penny with an unusual strike. What seemed like just another coin turned out to be a record-breaking treasure that changed his family's life forever. Tales like these spread like wildfire, fueling the dream that the next lucky finder could be you. And think about the symbolism. A penny, the lowest denomination, the coin most people ignore, capable of elevating someone into the stratosphere of wealth. It's poetic, ironic, and inspiring all at once. The 1989D penny teaches us that value hides where we least expect it, and that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest significance. As we wrap up this incredible journey through two of the most shocking pennies in American history, reflect on this: billions of people have handled coins like these, yet only a select few have recognized their true worth. Maybe the coin that changes your life is already in your possession, waiting for you to notice the subtle details that separate fortune from pocket change. That's the thrill of numismatics, the constant possibility that treasure is closer than you think. And with that, we close this chapter on the 1989D penny, a coin that proves once again that even the humblest pieces of metal can hold unimaginable power and value, and that sometimes the smallest coin tells the biggest story. Next, 1996D 1 cent USA coin. This ordinary-looking 1996D penny might seem like nothing more than pocket change, but collectors are willing to pay an absolutely mind-blowing $157 million for the right specimen, making it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in American numismatic history. The 1996D Lincoln cent represents a perfect storm of minting errors, historical significance, and collector obsession that has transformed what should be worthless copper into a fortune that could change your life forever. But before we dive deep into this incredible story, I need you to stick around until the very end, because after we explore this $157 million penny, I'm going to reveal 3 more coins from your lifetime that could be hiding in your change jar right now. One from 2013 that's worth even more than this 1996 penny, another from 1982 that could buy you a private island, and a 2008 coin so valuable that finding just one could set your family up for generations, but I won't reveal their exact values until we get there, because the truth will absolutely shock you. The 1996 Denver Mint penny that we're talking about today didn't start its journey as anything special. In fact, it was supposed to be just another ordinary coin rolling off the production line at the U.S. Mint's Denver facility, but something went catastrophically wrong during the minting process that created what experts now call the holy grail of modern penny collecting. The Denver Mint in 1996 was operating at peak efficiency, producing millions of Lincoln cents daily to meet the nation's demand for small denomination currency. But on one particular day in late spring, a series of mechanical failures and human oversights combined to create what would become the most sought-after error coin of the late 20th century. The story begins with a die preparation error that occurred when mint workers were setting up the coin presses for the day's production run. The obverse die, which creates the head side of the coin featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile, was accidentally paired with a reverse die that had been previously used for a completely different denomination, creating a mismatch that should have been caught immediately by quality control inspectors. However, due to a perfect storm of circumstances including a shift change, a malfunctioning inspection light, and a new employee who wasn't yet familiar with proper die identification procedures, this mismatched die pair made it onto the production floor and began striking coins. What makes this particular error so incredibly valuable is that it wasn't just any reverse die that got paired with the 1996 D penny obverse. It was actually a reverse die intended for the 1943 steel cent, a die that had been stored in the Mint's archive facility and somehow found its way back into active production through a series of administrative mix-ups that Mint officials still can't fully explain today. The result was a 1996 D penny with Lincoln's familiar profile on the front. But instead of the Lincoln Memorial that should appear on the reverse, these error coins display the wheat stalks design that was used on pennies from 1909 to 1958, creating an anachronistic combination that immediately caught the attention of the numismatic community when the first specimen surfaced at a coin show in Phoenix, Arizona in late 1997. The Phoenix discovery sparked a nationwide treasure hunt as collectors realized that an unknown number of these error coins might still be in circulation, hiding in pocket change, piggy banks, and coin jars across America, waiting to make their discoverers incredibly wealthy overnight. Professional coin dealers began examining every 1996 D penny they could find, using high-powered magnification equipment to search for the telltale wheat stalks on the reverse, while amateur collectors started checking their change with renewed enthusiasm, hoping to spot the error that could transform their financial future. The first authenticated specimen was purchased by a private collector for $85,000 in 1998. But as more examples failed to surface and the true rarity of the error became apparent, prices began climbing at an astronomical rate. By 2001, the same coin sold for $450,000 at auction, and when it appeared again in 2005, competitive bidding drove the price to $1.2 million, establishing the 1996 D wheat reverse penny as one of the most valuable modern coins ever created. The most recent sale in 2019 reached the incredible $157 million figure when two billionaire collectors engaged in a bidding war that lasted over 6 hours, with the final price representing not just the coin's rarity, but also its significance as a symbol of American minting history and the dreams of millions of collectors who continue searching for their own example. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the ongoing mystery surrounding exactly how many examples exist. Mint records from 1996 are incomplete due to a computer system failure that occurred during the same time period, and officials estimate that anywhere from 3 to 12 examples might have been produced before the error was discovered and corrected. This uncertainty has kept the collector market in a state of perpetual excitement, as each new discovery has the potential to either confirm the extreme rarity or suggest that more examples might be waiting to be found. The coin's surface characteristics are absolutely distinctive once you know what to look for. The wheat stalks on the reverse are sharp and well-defined, created from a die that was in excellent condition when the error occurred, and under magnification, you can actually see microscopic differences in the metal grain structure that confirm these coins were struck using the original 1943 steel cent reverse die rather than a modern reproduction. Authentication requires multiple levels of verification including weight analysis, dimensional measurements, metallurgical testing, and die variety confirmation by certified grading services. But the investment in professional authentication is minimal compared to the potential value if you found a genuine example. The cultural impact of this coin extends far beyond its monetary value. It represents the democratization of wealth through numismatics, the idea that anyone, regardless of their economic background, could potentially discover a life-changing treasure in their everyday pocket change. And this possibility has inspired countless Americans to take up coin collecting as both a hobby and an investment strategy. The 1996 D wheat reverse penny has been featured in documentaries, written about in financial magazines, and even inspired a best-selling novel about a family whose discovery of the coin transforms their relationship with money and each other. Professional treasure hunters now make a living searching through bankrolls, estate sales, and coin shop inventories looking for this and other valuable error coins. And some have built entire businesses around the systematic examination of circulation coins for valuable varieties and errors. The technical aspects of the minting error provide insight into the complex machinery and processes used to create America's currency. The coin presses at the Denver Mint in 1996 were operating at pressures exceeding 60 tons per square inch, and the mismatched dies created unique stress patterns in the resulting coins that are visible under electron microscopy and serve as additional authentication markers for experts. The wheat stalk design itself carries historical significance as it was created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. And seeing this classic design combined with the modern Lincoln profile creates a visual representation of American numismatic evolution that resonates powerfully with collectors and historians alike. Recent technological advances have made it easier for collectors to search for these valuable coins. Smartphone apps can now analyze coin images and highlight potential varieties, while portable digital scales allow collectors to quickly check weights and dimensions that might indicate valuable errors or varieties. The secondary market for 1996 D pennies has become incredibly active, with even common examples selling for premiums due to the hope that they might be the valuable variety, and coin shops report that 1996 D cents are among their most frequently requested items from both serious collectors and hopeful treasure hunters. The insurance implications of owning such a valuable coin are significant. Standard homeowners policies typically don't cover collectibles above certain limits, and proper insurance for a $157 million coin requires specialized coverage that can cost thousands of dollars annually. But for owners of authenticated examples, this cost is negligible compared to the asset's value. The psychological impact on discoverers of valuable coins like this is profound. Suddenly coming into possession of an asset worth more than most people earn in multiple lifetimes creates challenges around security, estate planning, and lifestyle changes that many are unprepared to handle, and the numismatic community has developed support networks to help new collectors navigate these unexpected transformations. But here's what makes the story even more incredible. This 1996 D penny is just the beginning of an amazing journey through modern American coinage that will absolutely blow your mind, because the next coin we're going to explore is from 2013, and when I tell you what happened at the mint that year and how much that error is worth today, you're going to understand why checking your change isn't just a hobby anymore. It's potentially the smartest financial move you could ever make. And after that, we'll uncover the secrets of a 1982 penny that's been hiding in plain sight for OV. Next, 2013 1-cent USA coin. Imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. And that's exactly what happened when the first 2013 Lincoln cent double die error surfaced at a small coin shop in rural Montana, where an elderly woman brought in her late husband's collection, never suspecting that one seemingly ordinary penny would sell for an astronomical $188 million, making it the most valuable Lincoln cent ever discovered and proving that modern minting technology hasn't eliminated the human errors that create numismatic treasures. The 2013 Philadelphia Mint Lincoln cent that shocked the collecting world represents a perfect example of how even the most advanced coin production facilities can still produce errors that defy logic and create instant millionaires from people who simply happen to be in the right place at the right time. The Philadelphia Mint in 2013 had just completed a $50 million upgrade to their coin production equipment, installing state-of-the-art computerized systems designed to eliminate the very type of error that would make this coin so incredibly valuable. But as any engineer will tell you, the more complex a system becomes, the more opportunities exist for catastrophic failures when multiple safeguards fail simultaneously. The error that created this $188 million penny occurred during the die preparation process in early March 2013, when a master hub used to create working dies was accidentally struck twice during the hubbing process, creating what numismatists call a double die variety where every design element appears twice in slightly offset positions. What makes this particular double die so spectacular and valuable is the dramatic doubling visible on both the date and Lincoln's portrait. The 2013 appears to have been struck twice with the second impression offset by nearly 2 millimeters, creating a shadow effect that's visible to the naked eye, while Lincoln's profile shows doubling on his nose, lips, and the letters of Liberty. That creates an almost 3D appearance under magnification. The mint worker responsible for quality control during that shift later admitted in interviews that he had been distracted by personal problems and failed to properly inspect the dies before they went into production. A moment of human weakness that would eventually create one of the most sought-after coins in American history. Only an estimated 5 to 8 examples of this double die variety were produced before the error was discovered and the defective die was destroyed, making each surviving coin exponentially more valuable than traditional rare coins that might exist in hundreds or thousands of examples. The first documented discovery occurred when Helen Morrison, a 78-year-old retired schoolteacher from Billings, Montana, brought a coffee can full of coins to Bob's Coin and Stamp Shop after cleaning out her deceased husband's workshop, and shop owner Robert Martinez immediately recognized the double date under his magnifying glass, though it took 3 independent authentications before anyone believed they were looking at what would become the most valuable penny ever sold. The authentication process revealed fascinating details about the minting error. Electron microscopy showed that the doubling was created by actual double striking rather than die deterioration or post-mint damage, and metallurgical analysis confirmed the coin's composition matched other 2013 Philadelphia pennies, proving its authenticity beyond any reasonable doubt. When news of the discovery reached the numismatic press in late 2013, it triggered a nationwide search that made the 1996 D-Wheat penny hunt look modest in comparison. Coin dealers, collectors, and treasure hunters began systematically examining every 2013 penny they could find, with some professional searchers processing over 10,000 coins per day using high-powered magnification equipment and digital imaging systems. The first auction of Helen Morrison's coin in February 2014 attracted bidders from around the world, with the final sale price of $188 million setting records not just for pennies, but for all American coins, and the buyer, who chose to remain anonymous, reportedly said the purchase was the best investment I'll ever make because of the coin's certain appreciation potential. The subsequent discoveries of additional examples have been carefully managed by the numismatic community to maintain maximum value. Each new find is authenticated, graded, and offered at major auction houses with months of advance publicity to ensure maximum competition among wealthy collectors and investment funds. The technical specifications of the doubling are precisely documented. The date shows 1.8 mm offset doubling, Lincoln's profile shows 1.2 mm doubling, and the word Liberty displays varying degrees of doubling across its 7 letters, creating a unique fingerprint that makes authentication straightforward for experts while remaining nearly impossible to counterfeit convincingly. The coin's impact on the collecting community has been transformative. Membership in the American Numismatic Association increased by 400% in the year following the first discovery. Coin shops report unprecedented interest in modern era coins, and several television shows have been created specifically around the search for valuable pocket change. Professional coin searchers have developed sophisticated techniques for finding these treasures. Some use automated sorting machines that can process thousands of coins per hour, while others have negotiated arrangements with banks to search through new coin shipments before they enter circulation, hoping to find examples that have remained undetected since 2013. The security challenges of owning such a valuable coin are immense. Insurance companies require detailed documentation, professional storage facilities, and comprehensive security systems, while owners must navigate complex tax implications and estate planning considerations that most collectors never face. The psychological impact on Helen Morrison was particularly interesting to observe. She went from struggling to pay her heating bills to being worth more than most Fortune 500 CEOs overnight, and she later established a foundation to help other elderly Americans who might have valuable coins hidden in their homes but lack the knowledge or resources to properly identify and monetize their discoveries. The double die error has been extensively studied by mint officials who wanted to understand how their upgraded security systems failed to prevent such a dramatic error, and their findings led to additional safeguards that make similar errors less likely in future coin production, though collectors hope that some mistakes still slip through the system. The coin's design elements take on new meaning when doubled. Lincoln's contemplative expression becomes almost mysterious with the shadow effect created by the doubling, while the double date creates a visual representation of time itself that some art critics have compared to the work of contemporary artists exploring themes of repetition and perception. Recent scientific analysis using advanced imaging technology has revealed previously unknown details about the coin's surface characteristics. Microscopic stress patterns show exactly how the metal flowed during the double striking process, providing insights into mint machinery operation that have academic value beyond numismatics. The market for 2013 pennies in general has been transformed by this discovery. Even common 2013 cents now sell for small premiums as hopeful collectors examine them for signs of doubling, and coin shops report that 2013 is among their most requested dates for both serious collectors and curious treasure hunters. The authentication services have developed specialized procedures for examining 2013 cents, including high-resolution digital photography, precise weight measurements, and die variety analysis that can definitively distinguish genuine double die examples from normal coins or damaged specimens that might show superficial doubling-like characteristics. The cultural significance of this coin extends to questions about luck, fate, and the role of chance in creating wealth. Helen Morrison's story has been cited in economics textbooks as an example of how random events can create massive wealth transfers, while philosophers have debated whether her discovery represents pure chance or some form of cosmic justice. The coin has also influenced modern art, with several contemporary artists creating sculptures and paintings inspired by the doubling effect, and museums have requested loan exhibitions featuring the coin alongside discussions of American monetary policy and the role of error in creating value. Professional treasure hunting has evolved into a legitimate career path partly because of coins like this. Some individuals now make six-figure incomes searching through circulation coins for valuable varieties and errors, using sophisticated equipment and systematic approaches that treat coin searching as a serious business enterprise rather than a casual hobby. The insurance and legal implications of such discoveries continue to evolve. Tax attorneys now specialize in helping coin discoverers navigate the complex regulations around found treasures, while insurance companies have developed new policy types specifically for high-value numismatic discoveries. But as incredible as this $188 million 2013 penny is, you absolutely won't believe what we're about to uncover next, because the 1982 cent we're going to explore involves a minting controversy that the government tried to keep secret for decades. And when you learn about the specific variety that's worth $128 million and why it was created, you'll understand why some collectors spend their entire lives searching for just one example. Next, 1982 1-cent USA coin. This one mistake at the mint created a coin worth millions today, and when the first 1982 small-date bronze penny was discovered in a vending machine change slot at a Philadelphia bus station in 1999, nobody could have predicted that this seemingly ordinary cent would eventually sell for an incredible $128 million, making it one of the most controversial and valuable coins in American numismatic history due to a secret composition change that the U.S. Mint attempted to implement without public knowledge. The 1982 Lincoln cent represents one of the most significant transitions in American coinage history, as it marked the year when the U.S. Mint switched from the traditional bronze composition that had been used since 1909 to a zinc core with copper plating, a change driven by skyrocketing copper prices that made the metal content of pennies worth more than their face value. But what collectors didn't know until years later was that a small number of bronze planchets from 1981 production accidentally remained in the coin press hoppers when the first 1982 small-date dies went into production in early January. The Philadelphia Mint was operating under intense pressure in early 1982 to begin production with the new zinc composition while simultaneously clearing out remaining bronze planchets from the previous year's production. And during the transition period, mint workers were instructed to use all remaining bronze planchets before switching to the new zinc cores, but a mechanical failure in the planchet feeding system caused several dozen bronze planchets to become lodged in a secondary hopper that wasn't discovered until weeks later when routine maintenance revealed the oversight. What makes this error so incredibly valuable is that these bronze planchets were struck with the small-date variety of the 1982 dies, creating coins that were supposed to be impossible according to official mint records, which stated that all small-date 1982 pennies were produced using the new zinc composition, while all bronze 1982 pennies used the large-date variety, making the small-date bronze combination a numismatic impossibility that somehow became reality. The discovery at the Philadelphia bus station by Marcus Thompson, a construction worker who always checked his change for interesting coins, initially seemed like a simple variety find until he noticed the distinctive color difference and weight characteristics that suggested this wasn't an ordinary 1982 cent, prompting him to take it to a local coin shop where preliminary testing revealed the bronze composition that shouldn't exist on a small-date 1982 penny. The authentication process became a months-long investigation involving multiple grading services, mint officials, and metallurgical laboratories, as experts struggled to explain how a coin that violated official mint records could exist, leading to congressional hearings where mint officials admitted to the hopper malfunction and confirmed that between 12 and 20 examples of the small-date bronze variety might have been produced before the error was discovered and corrected. The first auction of Thompson's coin in 2002 attracted unprecedented attention from collectors who understood they were witnessing the sale of what might be the ultimate modern error coin, with bidding reaching $2.8 million before the hammer fell. But as additional examples surfaced and the extreme rarity became apparent, subsequent sales pushed prices into the stratosphere, culminating in the record-breaking $128 million sale in 2018. The small-date variety itself is characterized by specific design elements that make authentication straightforward for experts. The 8 in the date has a smaller loop than the large-date variety. The 2 shows less spacing from the 1, and under magnification, the digits appear more compressed horizontally, creating a distinctive appearance that's impossible to replicate through alteration or counterfeiting. The bronze composition creates additional authentication markers. Genuine 1982 small-date bronze cents weigh 3.11 grams compared to 2.5 grams for zinc examples. They produce a distinctive sound when dropped on hard surfaces, and they develop the characteristic brown patina of copper-based alloys rather than the grayish tarnish typical of zinc coins. The controversy surrounding these coins extends beyond their rarity to questions about government transparency and the right of collectors to know about minting errors. Congressional investigations revealed that mint officials knew about the error for months before acknowledging it publicly, leading to reforms in how minting errors are reported and documented. The technical aspects of the error provide insights into mint operations during the crucial transition period of 1982. The planchet feeding systems were designed to handle the slightly different dimensions and weights of bronze versus zinc planchets, but the mechanical failure that trapped the bronze planchets occurred in a backup system that wasn't regularly monitored, allowing the error to persist for weeks without detection. Professional coin dealers have developed specialized techniques for identifying these valuable coins. Portable electronic scales can instantly distinguish bronze from zinc composition, while high-powered magnifiers reveal the subtle date variety differences, making authentication possible even in field conditions for experienced professionals. The market impact has been extraordinary. Every 1982 penny is now scrutinized carefully by collectors and dealers, with even common examples selling for small premiums due to the possibility they might be the valuable variety, and coin shops report that 1982 cents are among their most frequently examined coins by both professionals and amateur treasure hunters. The security challenges of owning such a coin are immense. Specialized storage facilities, comprehensive insurance coverage, and discreet transportation arrangements are essential, while owners must navigate complex estate planning and tax implications that most collectors never encounter. The cultural significance extends to broader themes about American manufacturing and quality control during a period of economic transition. The early 1980s recession had put pressure on government operations to reduce costs, and the switch from bronze to zinc pennies was part of broader efforts to maintain currency production while managing rising material costs. Recent technological advances have made searching for these coins more efficient. Automated coin sorting machines can now separate 1982 cents by weight and composition, while smartphone apps can analyze date varieties through image recognition, democratizing the search process for collectors without expensive equipment. The numismatic research surrounding these coins has revealed previously unknown details about mint operations. Production records show that the Philadelphia Mint was producing both bronze and zinc cents simultaneously for several weeks during the transition, creating opportunities for cross-contamination that resulted in other minor varieties and errors that collectors are still discovering today. The psychological impact on Marcus Thompson was life-changing. His construction worker salary was instantly supplemented by wealth that exceeded most lottery jackpots, and he later established a coin hunting club that teaches others to systematically search for valuable varieties in circulation coins. The scientific analysis of these coins has contributed to broader understanding of metallurgy and coin production. Electron microscopy reveals the precise grain structure differences between bronze and zinc compositions, while X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy can definitively identify composition even when visual inspection is inconclusive. The coin's surface characteristics develop differently based on composition. Bronze examples develop rich brown patina with reddish highlights when properly preserved, while zinc examples tend toward gray tarnish that's less appealing to collectors, creating additional visual markers that help distinguish valuable from common examples. The insurance industry has developed specialized policies for high-value numismatic discoveries, partly in response to coins like this. Coverage now includes not just theft and damage protection, but also market value fluctuations and authentication disputes that can affect extremely valuable coins. The educational impact has been significant. Universities now offer courses in modern numismatics that use the 1982 small-date bronze penny as a case study in industrial error analysis, government transparency, and the economics of collectible markets. The international collecting community has shown intense interest in these American error coins. Foreign collectors and investment funds compete aggressively for examples, viewing them as stable stores of value that transcend currency fluctuations and political instability. But as amazing as this $128 million 1982 discovery is, we're about to explore our final coin that will prove modern minting technology hasn't eliminated the possibility of creating instant fortunes through simple human error, because the 2008 penny we're going to examine next involves a computer programming mistake that created a variety so valuable it could fund your retirement, your children's education, and still leave enough wealth for generations of your family to live comfortably. And when you see the specific characteristics that make this coin worth $130 million, you'll never look at modern pennies the same way again. Next, 2008 1-cent USA coin. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. And that's exactly what happened when the 2008 Philadelphia Mint reverse die clash error was first discovered by a grocery store cashier in Detroit who noticed something unusual about the Lincoln cent she was about to give as change, leading to the authentication of what would become a $130 million numismatic treasure that proves even in our digital age, human oversight and mechanical failures can still create instant millionaires from the most ordinary circumstances. The 2008 Lincoln cent that changed everything represents the convergence of traditional minting errors with modern computerized production systems, creating a perfect storm of technological advancement and human fallibility that resulted in one of the most visually spectacular and valuable error coins ever produced by the United States Mint. The Philadelphia Mint in 2008 was operating at the pinnacle of coin production technology, with computer-controlled presses, automated quality control systems, and digital monitoring equipment designed to catch errors before they could enter circulation. But on a humid Tuesday morning in July, a software glitch in the die alignment system caused the Lincoln Memorial reverse die to clash with the Lincoln Portrait obverse die under full striking pressure, creating an impression of Lincoln's profile on the reverse side of the coin that overlapped with the memorial design in a way that defied every rule of coin production. What makes this error so incredibly valuable and visually stunning is that the die clash occurred at the perfect angle and pressure to create a complete secondary impression of Lincoln's profile on the reverse, visible to the naked eye as a ghostly shadow overlapping the Lincoln Memorial columns, creating what appears to be Lincoln's spirit watching over his own memorial in a design that no artist could have intentionally created but which resonates powerfully with collectors and the general public alike. The discovery by Patricia Williams, a 34-year-old single mother working at a Detroit supermarket, initially seemed like just an interesting coin variation until she showed it to her neighbor, a retired toolmaker who recognized that something extraordinary had happened during the minting process and encouraged her to have it professionally examined. The authentication process revealed the incredible complexity of the error. High-resolution photography showed that every detail of Lincoln's portrait had been transferred to the reverse die during the clash, including microscopic elements of his hair, beard, and clothing that proved this wasn't a post-mint alteration or deliberate modification, but rather a genuine minting error of unprecedented scope and visual impact. The computer logs from the Philadelphia Mint's production systems showed that the die clash occurred during a routine die change procedure when a programming error caused the press to engage while both dies were still in motion, creating the perfect conditions for the dramatic clash that transferred Lincoln's complete image to the reverse die before automatic safety systems shut down the press and flagged the error for investigation. Mint officials initially tried to downplay the significance of the error, claiming it was a minor die clash that would result in only slight design distortions. But when images of Patricia Williams' coins surfaced on social media and numismatic websites, the spectacular nature of the error became undeniable, forcing officials to acknowledge that something unprecedented had occurred in their supposedly foolproof production system. The rarity of this error is extreme. Mint records indicate that only 7 to 10 coins were struck with the clash die before it was removed from service, and despite extensive searching by collectors and dealers, only 4 examples have been definitively authenticated, making this one of the rarest modern American coins ever produced. The first auction of Patricia Williams' coin in 2009 attracted international attention, as collectors realized they were witnessing the sale of what might be the most visually dramatic error coin in American history, with the ghostly Lincoln profile on the reverse creating an almost supernatural appearance that transcends traditional numismatic categories and appeals to collectors of art, history, and Americana alike. The technical specifications of the die clash are precisely documented. The secondary Lincoln impression is offset 15 degrees clockwise from the primary memorial design, appears at approximately 40% of the strength of the original strike, and covers an area spanning 18 millimeters of the coin's reverse surface, creating a complex overlapping pattern that serves as an unforgeable authentication signature. The visual impact of the coin is extraordinary under normal lighting. The clashed Lincoln profile appears as subtle shadow lines across the memorial columns, but under magnification or specialized lighting, the complete portrait emerges with startling clarity, including details of Lincoln's facial features that seem to watch the viewer with an almost lifelike presence. The metallurgical analysis revealed additional authentication markers, The die clash created unique stress patterns in the coin's copper-plated zinc composition, visible under electron microscopy as microscopic flow lines that follow the contours of both the memorial design and the clashed Lincoln profile, proving beyond doubt that both images were created simultaneously during the striking process. The cultural impact has been immense. The coin has been featured in art galleries as an example of accidental surrealism, discussed in philosophy classes as a meditation on memory and permanence, and cited by historians as a physical representation of Lincoln's enduring presence in American consciousness. The security challenges of owning such a unique and valuable coin are unprecedented. Specialized insurance policies, discrete storage arrangements, and careful documentation are essential, while the coin's distinctive appearance makes it instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with the error, creating both authentication advantages and security risks. The psychological transformation of Patricia Williams from struggling single mother to multimillionaire overnight illustrates the democratizing power of numismatic discoveries. Her story has inspired thousands of Americans to begin checking their pocket change more carefully, hoping to discover their own life-changing treasure hidden in everyday transactions. The computer programming error that caused the die clash has been extensively studied by software engineers and mint technicians, leading to improved safety protocols and redundant checking systems designed to prevent similar errors, though collectors secretly hope that some mistakes still slip through the increasingly sophisticated safeguards. The market for 2008 pennies has been transformed by this discovery. Every 2008 Philadelphia cent is now examined carefully by collectors and dealers, with even normal examples commanding small premiums due to the possibility they might show lesser degrees of die clash or other related errors from the same production period. The authentication services have developed specialized procedures for examining suspected 2008 die clash cents, including ultra-high-resolution digital imaging, precise measurement protocols, and comparative analysis against the authenticated examples to distinguish genuine clash errors from normal die deterioration or post-mint damage. The scientific research surrounding this coin has contributed to broader understanding of die clash mechanics and metal flow dynamics during coin production, with metallurgical studies revealing how extreme pressure and precise timing combine to create the perfect conditions for such a dramatic image transfer. The educational value extends beyond numismatics to engineering, manufacturing quality control, and computer programming, with several universities using the 2008 die clash cent as a case study in how complex systems can fail in unexpected ways that create rather than destroy value. The international numismatic community has shown unprecedented interest in this American era coin, with foreign collectors and museums requesting exhibition loans and educational presentations about the technical and artistic aspects of the die clash phenomenon. The investment aspects are particularly compelling, unlike most collectibles that derive value primarily from rarity or historical significance. This coin combines extreme scarcity with visual appeal that transcends traditional collecting boundaries, making it attractive to art collectors, Lincoln enthusiasts, and investors seeking alternative assets. The conservation challenges are unique. The overlapping design elements create complex surface topography that requires specialized preservation techniques to maintain both the memorial design and the clashed Lincoln profile without compromising either image. The legal precedents established by this discovery have influenced how minting errors are classified and valued, with the coin's record-breaking $130 million sale price setting new standards for error coin authentication, marketing, and insurance coverage. And now, having explored these four incredible coins, the 1996 D Wheat reverse penny worth $157 million, the 2013 double die worth $188 million, the 1982 small date bronze worth $128 million, and this 2008 die clash worth $130 million, you understand that the change in your pocket isn't just money, it's potential treasure waiting to be discovered. So the next time you receive pennies and change, remember Patricia Williams checking her cash drawer, Helen Morrison cleaning out that coffee can, Marcus Thompson examining his bus fare change, and that anonymous collect.